the genius knows no continent, creativity knows no continent. What is different is, opportunity and access, the ability to express it. And I'm just sort of curious, like, why should this even be a radical idea at this point in our lives?
It seems like it's radical now, because I feel at least the political discourse in especially North America and in Europe has become very, very polarized. And we seem to be retrenching ourselves at different ends of the political spectrum and unable to engage in dialogue across the middle. And so terms like the West and Western civilization have either become terms for sticking up on a statue pedestal and lionizing and saying that they are untouchable for one side of the political spectrum, and on the other side of the political spectrum they've almost become dirty words. They are something shameful or something that we to be denigrated, and both of those things are clearly pastiches. They're straw men. These are two straw men. And so if we cannot move past that, if we can't get a more sophisticated, less two-dimensional straw man view of what Western society and what the West currently is, we're never going to be able to move forward.
But why do you think there's such an aggressive move now to uphold this specific view of, Western civilization? Not just in the United States, but we see this in other Western governments, this desire to kind of narrow the focus of history rather than broaden it. Like, why do you think that is?
I think this is because we are at a critical juncture in kind of the balance of power globally, where the West is no longer occupying this unrivaled position of dominance, which it has had for the last couple of centuries. We've had the recent challenges of, Russia, especially with the war in Ukraine, Russian aggression, but perhaps even more importantly is the rise of China, both economically and also politically as well. Now, wherever you stand on that, whether you think this is a good thing or a bad thing in different parts of the world, it is something which means that the world order is changing, that things are changing around the West, not just within China, but also China's interactions with the rest of the world. And the West therefore has to rethink its position and what it fundamentally is. In doing that, there are people who want to step back and retrench and maybe put their hands over their ears and say it's not happening. The West is what it always was. It can't change. It's never going to change. And there are some people who are, who see the faults of the West and want to almost rip it to shreds. But there are also some people in the middle who are seeking to try and understand what West is now. And it's not what it was 100 years ago. It's not what it was 150 years ago. It's not what it was even 20 years ago. So the kinds of identity we need in the West now are not the kinds of identity we need at the time that this idea of Western civilization was being promoted. We need something else, and we need it now.